Hey everybody, it is Monday morning. Now last Friday, 2 or 3 days ago, whatever that math is, we got an entire semi full of new in-box bikes and we crammed it all into Toy Store 2.0 in record time. The smoothest, cleanest unload that we have ever done. The new doors paid off, buying the forklift paid off, and it feels really good to have a smooth delivery. Good logistics, right? Got everything in here set up about 10 o'clock on Friday. We were able to get some pictures up on Facebook. We started juicing the advertising dollars to see if we could get some bikes sold, and we did. We sold some bikes. We're gonna talk about those numbers, but before we do that, I wanna show everybody some of the advertising. What did it look like? How did we lay it out? What did the bikes look like? And here we go. We printed up a couple of these. This is what it looks like on Facebook. Pretty simple, to the point. We put our price on there. We put a picture of the bike, of course. We put everybody else's price, the description, and what did we sell out of? These right here. Jack's Pacific 15-inch flywheel cruiser kids tricycles at $24.99. We only had 6 of them. They went out the door almost right away. And how did the other things go? How many bikes did you sell, not counting the big wheels, which those big wheels were really cool. Light up LED wheels, adjustable seats. I sound like a used car salesman. Not counting those, and not counting these Radio Flyer beginner scooters, because we did sell 2 or 3 of those. I think the final number was about 15 bikes. I don't have the exact number, but it was pretty close to that. And that's not bad. For having 0 time, an hour doesn't count, to advertise, to kind of pump it up, I feel like 15 bikes was a pretty good number. Would I have liked to have sold them all? Yes. But you know, Rome wasn't built in a day. You got to start somewhere. And this week at the toy store next door, we are expanding our operating hours. We will now be open from noon to 6 every single day through the week. The weekends will stay the same, 10 to 6 on Saturday, noon to 5 on Sunday. But we figured it was time to kind of crank the hours up a little bit, see how it goes. And if we can bring on some more help, we will open the store more hours. You can't sell it if the doors are locked, right? And that's kind of the theory we're working on here. But what bikes were the most popular? What did we sell the most of? These Huffy Highland 20-inch mountain bikes. They sold for $69.99. We sold 5 of these, maybe 6. That was the most popular. And I think the women's hybrid, which was a 27 or a 28-inch bike, I don't know. I think we sold a couple of those. We sold a couple of these Mongoose. What are these? These Index Mags. We kind of talked about those, a freestyle bike. And let's sidetrack just a little bit, because I'm going to kind of talk pro tip. Now, I don't know if I'm a professional, but I'm going to throw this out there. Something I've learned from being in this business for a little while, and that is know your product. Do I know anything about bikes? Not really. I know how to ride one, maybe change out some tires, put the chains on, fix the brakes, whatever. I'm not an expert. But one of the first things I did once the bikes came in and I could physically see the boxes, put my hands on it, figure out what was going on, I learned the product. So I kind of felt like a used car salesman in here over the weekend, but customers will ask you questions. How tall do I need to be to get on a 20-inch? Will I fit on a 24-inch? And while I'm not saying I know all those answers, because I really don't, Google's probably your friend there, I can tell you a little bit about each one of these bikes. I memorized all the prices. I memorized the retail prices. We were also throwing up sticky notes on these boxes, like this one right here. 20-inch Falcon, $127.49. Everywhere else, here we've got them for $89.99, $50 off, whatever the math is. I think we get the point. Learn the product, because customers will ask and you need to know a little bit, right? No one's saying be an expert, but you should know just a little bit about everything you're selling. We're gonna try to shuffle things around a little bit today, get things out of the middle of Toy Store 2.0, because we do have other deliveries headed this way. The next load coming in, it looked really juicy on paper. We've dealt with some of that stuff here and there. Without giving too much away, it should be a pretty interesting, it should be an interesting buy. We'll see how it goes. That should be here this week. I'm hoping tomorrow, Wednesday, get it in here before the weekend. And speaking of the weekend, we should see these bike sales pick up quite a bit through the week into the weekend. We're really going to push them hard on Facebook. We're going to spend some money on advertising. This should thin out pretty good. The prices we've got on these bikes are crazy, unbelievable. Everybody that bought a bike got a free helmet. I don't have one in there. I was going to try to show everybody, but I might not have any opened. There's not one in there. So bicycle helmets, they're this teal, black looking, pretty basic helmet, okay? Now I'm gonna shuffle some stuff around. I've already got the eBay orders done, boxed up, ready to go. Here they are. The post office guy should be here pretty quick. And again, the big goal is to maybe clean a little bit of this up. There's just a little bit of nonsense going on in here. And that happens after every delivery. Here's kind of the deal with these bikes. We don't want to move these around a bunch of times. They're heavy. It's kind of a team lift type situation. We would rather sell them out of here than move them around. So depending on how this weekend goes, how many bikes we sell, we might discount these a little bit to kind of get them moving, but they are pretty well priced. But the main reason we want to open this space up, we're going to be getting a toy truck. That's going to be happening sooner than later, right? We want to do a big plush sale out of here. I've got a mountain of plush next door in the back room. It is stacked to the ceiling. We want to get it out of there. We are rolling along pretty good here. We're into Monday afternoon. We did shuffle some things around Toy Store 2.0. A lot of the bikes we went ahead and lined up against the wall. We tried the best we could to keep them grouped up by style, by brand, however you want to say that. We did straighten this out down through here. I could probably still do a little bit of work shuffling these around, but I think for the most part, it looks pretty good. Radio Flyer scooters. And yeah, we just organized it. That's what I want to say. We did some organization. I think that's going to do it. We're going to finish pricing this out and an update on the next delivery, the next buy. That delivery should be here tomorrow, possibly Wednesday. And a lot of those items will be going on eBay. It's an eBay type load. Yes, some of it will go in the toy store, but most of it we'll try to list. That's about all I got. It's Monday. I'm going to wrap everything up and get out of here. I hope everybody's having a good start to your week. And until next time, I will see you later. Peace.